6:45 on a Friday morning. That is a busy gym.
Are you ready for this?
Are we seeing them yet?
Are we ever ready for this? We've been so excited about this moment in the programme, everyone. 40 years after the release of their last studio album, ABBA have surprised and delighted fans, some of them on this sofa, with news of new music and a special live show.
Yeah, so we'll go through the basics in case you don't know. There's 4 of them. They were known for hits such as Dancing Queen and Waterloo, split up in 1982. That sounds extraordinary, doesn't it?
A long time ago.
Wow. Our arts correspondent David Sillito reports now one of the biggest reunions in pop culture history.
I see it now.
Years on, Benny and Björn were in London to share some news. One of pop's greatest acts was back.
To go into the snap and to say, oh yeah, let's do that. You know, that was, I mean, they haven't been that interested in doing a new ABBA record, can tell you that, for like 35 years. But now they said, okay.
I believe it is.
We stood the first day in front of the mixing console, the 4 of us, looking at each other, and amazing.
And watching all of this unfold last night were some very excited superfans.
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright.
To finally hear a new ABBA song, there were a few tears.
Waiting, and now finally the day has come and we can finally hear some new music from ABBA.
I literally had tears in my eyes when I heard Frida's voice. It was unbelievable. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I just thought, this is absolutely fantastic.
Totally unprepared for how emotional it was for me.
Different emotions. I don't know which one to pick, but it's amazing, absolutely fantastic.
Building here in London a new ABBA venue for live concerts.
But you're not going to be seeing ABBA as they are today, but rather with a degree of digital, youthful enhancement.
And with the aid of motion band members in their 70s heyday, 40 years on.
Thank you for the music.
And for our little group of superfans, it's all been a bit overwhelming. But there's always an ABBA song you can turn to at such moments. David Sillito, BBC News.
I think we're all a bit overwhelmed this morning, aren't we? Slightly?
A lot of emotion. A lot of emotion out there.
A lot of excitement, particularly because we now can talk to Ludvig Andersson, who is the son of ABBA star Benny and a producer on the live show. Ludvig, morning to you. It's great to see you this morning.
Good morning. It's great to see you, or at least hear you too.
What's it been like working with your dad on this?
Oh, that's been good. I mean, we've been working together for longer than. I mean, we've been on this for 4 or 5 years, but long before that, we were doing stuff together. And I mean, it's. I guess it's no different from working with your parent. No matter what your parents are doing, you end up doing the same thing. So to me, it's we have a very uncomplicated and good relationship, both privately and professionally. So it's been good.
How prepared were you and have ABBA been for the reaction from the fans, which already is huge?
Well, it was obviously a momentous evening for all of us and the whole gang and the team last night. And we've been working on this for so long, and you're so focused on something for so long, you tend to lose perspective of what it is that you're doing, and you sort of get tangled up in your own ideas of what's going on. So to yesterday and last night be able to share this with the world was, of course, wonderful, and especially seeing that the reaction was a positive one. I mean, you can't know those things beforehand, but we are, of course, all of us so happy to. I mean, I just heard the voices of the clip leading up to this, and I mean that's everything. That's why we're doing this. This is all for the fans.
Ludvig, very good morning to you. It's Charlie here. Can you help me with a little timeline for us? Because people looking at you this morning will be thinking, now, how old is Ludvig? And had ABBA split before he was born? So can you just help us with that?
Are you asking if it's a coincidence that I was born in 1982 and that's the same year they split up? Then I can't answer that. That's a question for my parents, I guess. But yes, I missed the whole thing back when it happened the first time. So, I mean, I guess you could say that would be a Freudian kind of reason for me to be doing this now, to sort of help recreate something that I never got to see. But more than that, to me, like I said, this has always been music and art and this kind of thing has always been part of my life, and I am simply very lucky to be able to work with something so wonderful. And in this particular case, it happens to be ABBA, and I'm very glad to be doing it. But this, I've been working on this for so long that by now I feel very protective of our concert, of our show, and perhaps even more so than I am of ABBA. So I tend to often forget that what we're doing is ABBA's show and not mine, and Svana's my producer partners.
Yeah, and as you know, it means such a lot to so many people. Can I ask you a couple
doing vocal takes right after, which is something I assume they used to do a lot. And it just so happens that I think I took those photos, so I was in there with them, and I mean, again, it's hard for me to tell the difference between just a normal life and what is obviously what I know intellectually is a spectacular occasion. But it was very nice seeing the four of them like that, and it was very nice seeing that it was as if, at least from my perspective, no time had passed. They very quickly fell into what I can only assume was exactly the kind of dynamics as they were in 40 years ago. And also when we were doing the motion capture filming, which was a very impressive achievement from the four of them. They were all on a motion capture stage for 5 weeks, 8 hours a day, performing every song in the upcoming concert in London in May. And they worked really hard, and that was a really special moment for everyone. We were 100 people in that room watching this and capturing it, they were up there on the stage dressed in their, I don't know if you've seen the photo, but they're wearing these quite peculiar looking overalls with little dots on them, so in order to capture their movements, and that was really something as well. But also because they are like they are, and because like I said, they so quickly fell into some kind of dynamics that seemed so familiar. I guess in a way it seemed completely familiar to all of us who was in the room. So what should perhaps have been, and was at times, an extraordinary moment, quickly became that old familiar ABBA that even those of us who weren't born when they actually were in their heyday remember.
Ludvig, just finally from me, we're a bit short on time, but I have to ask you about the show itself, because it's not holograms, is it? It's much more technologically advanced than that. The thing that intrigues me is that in the auditorium, there are seats, but also there is a big space for many hundreds of people at the front to dance. So this is not an ordinary show, is it? Is it going to be more like a party?
It's going to be a concert. So when you get there, you will recognize it as any concert. Half of the audience will be standing, half of the audience will be seated. But what it is and what we're trying to achieve is a concert on steroids, a magical ABBA split circus, if you will. And what we're trying to really do is to see if we can take that communal, wonderful, magical experience of going to a concert and somehow send it out into the stratosphere in every possible way. That's why we're building our own arena, so we can control every little detail of that experience. And that's a tremendously enjoyable endeavor.
Ludvig, it's lovely catching up with you, and there's lots of excitement. So thank you for taking time for us this morning on BBC Breakfast, and we look forward to seeing the show.
I hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
I think that was was an invitation. Do you think it was?
I think so.
Do you think we'll go?
I think so.
Let's get the weather on steroids.
Matt's going to go. Look at him. He's how excited are you, Matt? Where are you on the Richter scale of excitement about ABBA?
All very excited. I'm more excited
now, that's for sure.
Never. Anyway, very good morning to you all. I think you know the weather story by now.
Look at him. He's how excited are you, Matt? Where are you on the Richter scale of excitement about ABBA?
All very excited. I'm more excited of seeing you dancing down the front, Charlie. That would be fun.
Well, you've just spoiled everyone's breakfast now, that's for sure.
Never. Anyway, very good morning to you all. I think you know the weather story by now. A bit breezy across the northwest, lighter winds to the south, but it's coming in from a southeasterly direction now. Temperatures could get up to around 20 to 24 degrees, particularly across parts of England and Wales. And then it's sunshine on Monday again through parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland, England and Wales. That's your forecast. Stay with us. The headlines are next.
Every child learns differently. It stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, or how to scan fill in the
gaps
and get those brains as big as
Henry VIII.
BBC Bite Size online learning for all children.